Good evening, automotive enthusiasts, and welcome to another fascinating look at the creativity that defines the modern tuning scene, specifically coming out of the 2026 Tokyo Auto Salon. While the big manufacturers have been focused on sleek electric concepts and high-performance hybrids, a group of students from the Kokura Gakuen Gunma Automotive College has stolen the spotlight with something that looks less like a traditional car and more like a low-resolution object that has escaped from a digital sandbox.
Known as the TAUS-HFRS, this project is currently making headlines for its incredibly unique aesthetic that has prompted many observers to claim that it looks exactly like it was built in Minecraft. This isn't just a simple body kit or a clever wrap, but a fundamental reimagining of a luxury sedan that challenges our perceptions of what automotive design can be in an age of smooth curves and wind tunnel-optimized shapes. The foundation for this bizarre and captivating experiment is actually a second-generation Lexus IS sedan, which was once known for its elegant and refined lines, but now has been transformed into a jagged, blocky masterpiece. To understand the TAUS-HFRS, we have to look at the philosophy behind the build, which celebrates a mix of eras, sharp edges, and a relentless DIY spirit. The students at Gunma Automobile College decided to discard the original bodywork of the Lexus IS in favor of a jagged, blocky body kit that is truly one of a kind.
The car is painted in Chrysler's Destroyer Gray, a flat and industrial color that perfectly highlights the harsh angles and deep shadows created by the new body panels. At the front, the car is almost unrecognizable. The bumper has been replaced by a massive single intake that dominates the entire face of the car. It is a bold move that makes the famous Lexus spindle grille look subtle by comparison. There are no smooth transitions here. Instead, every line is a hard 90-degree turn or a sharp diagonal, creating a voxel-like appearance that is both jarring and incredibly satisfying to look at. The headlights are recessed into the blocky structure, adding to the sense that this vehicle was carved out of a single piece of stone, or, as the name suggests, built block by block in a digital world. As you move to the side of the vehicle, the transformation continues, with bolt-on wide fenders that aggressively overtake the original profile. These fenders are so large that they partially obscure the aftermarket 18-inch wheels, giving the car a planted and wide stance that suggests a much more powerful machine. Interestingly, these massive fenders have rendered the rear doors largely ornamental, as the jagged lines of the bodywork make opening them a logistical challenge. This design choice emphasizes the student's commitment to the aesthetic vision over traditional practicality. The side skirts follow the same blocky logic, extending low toward the ground and connecting the massive front and rear arches with a series of stepped surfaces. It is a design that celebrates the imperfect and the handmade, which is a breath of fresh air in an industry that is increasingly obsessed with digital perfection and robotically applied finishes. The rear end of the TAUS-HFRS takes things even further into the realm of the bizarre. The back of the car evokes the image of a sedan that has been partially submerged in drying concrete, or perhaps a structure that is still being rendered by a graphics card from the late 90s. Above this heavy, blocky mass sits a massive electronically adjustable wing that looks like it belongs on a GT3 race car, but with a distinctly retro angular twist. Below that wing, the students have integrated 4 exhaust pipes that jut out from the bumper like oversized tailpipes on a cartoon rocket. It is an unapologetic and loud design that perfectly captures the energy of the Tokyo Auto Salon, where the goal is often to be the most memorable thing on the floor, regardless of how polarizing the design might be. Every angle reveals a new jagged detail or a surprising geometry that keeps you staring at the car, trying to figure out where the original Lexus ends and the student project begins. Despite the radical exterior transformation, the heart of the car remains surprisingly familiar. Underneath the Destroyer Gray blocky shell, the TAUS-HFRS is still powered by its original naturally aspirated 2.5-liter V6 engine. This power plant delivers approximately 272 horsepower, which means that while the car looks like it belongs in a high-speed digital race, it still possesses the reliable and smooth character of a mid-2000s Lexus. For the students, this was likely a practical decision, as keeping the mechanical stock allowed them to focus all of their energy and limited budget on the incredible bodywork and interior modifications. However, they did not completely ignore the driving dynamics, as the car features a revised suspension setup to handle the massive increase in track width and the weight of the custom body panels. The result is a car that can actually be driven, even if its primary purpose is to serve as a rolling design study. Steering our attention toward the interior, we find a cabin that has been heavily modified, but feels slightly more cohesive than the wild exterior. The students opted for a clean white upholstery that provides a stark contrast to the industrial gray of the body. A pair of bride bucket seats has been installed to give the car a proper racing feel, and the driver sits behind a TRD-branded sports steering wheel. One of the most interesting additions is the vertically mounted infotainment screen, which is positioned in a configuration similar to a Tesla. This adds a touch of modern tech to a car that otherwise celebrates a very retro and digital aesthetic. There is student-applied flair everywhere you look, from custom trim pieces to unique switchgear, showing that every inch of this Lexus was touched by the creative minds at Gunma Automobile College. It is a space that feels personal and handcrafted, which is exactly what makes student projects like this so special in the eyes of automotive journalists and enthusiasts alike. The TAUS-HFRS stands as a testament to the enduring power of the Tokyo Auto Salon as a venue for the earnestly bizarre. While the automotive world moves toward a future defined by software and autonomous pods, this student project reminds us that cars can still be a medium for pure artistic expression and raw creativity. By taking a relatively common luxury sedan and turning it into something that looks like it was born from a video game, the students have sparked a conversation about the intersection of digital culture and physical craftsmanship. It is a car that invites you to smile, to question, and to marvel at the sheer amount of work required to make a car look this intentionally unfinished. Whether you love the blocky look or find it to be a bridge too far, there is no denying that the TAUS-HFRS is one of the most unforgettable experiments of the 2026 show season. It is a brilliant reminder that sometimes the most interesting things happen when you stop following the rules and start building the world one block at a time. Thank you for joining us for this look at one of the weirdest and most wonderful cars of the year, and we look forward to seeing what these students come up with for the next show.